Welcome to 2021. The COVID restrictions are easing up, the vaccinations are on their way, and you want to get the hell out of wherever you are. And I know what you're doing. You're thinking, Denver, huh? This video is going to be all about the cost of living in Denver, Colorado. This is the 2021 update. And so I'm going to give you the big thing that's changed is our prices have gone up because all you Californian, Texans, and New Yorkers, Florida too, you guys are all making your way out to the Mile High City. And so I'm going to give you the update on how much moolah you need if you're doing a job transfer or anything like that. So I'm going to make this super comprehensive. I'm going to cover housing, transportation, food, like eating out, and groceries. I'm going to talk about marijuana. I'm going to talk about property taxes. And at the end, I'm going to go around the map and I'm going to show you where different property values are, because everyone starts to, they get an idea of what they can afford, and then they're like, well, now where are those houses at? So I'll show you where like 400 to 500,000 are, 500 to 6,000, and so that you can really start to narrow down which part of the city that you want to live. And for some of those areas, we've already made neighborhood tours and walkthroughs that you can go check out after this video. But let's get on into it. Cue the trailer. Hey, what's up guys? I am Sean Murphy, and making videos like this about what it's like to live in Denver, Colorado, that is what we do here on this channel. So if you're into that and you want to stay up to date when we put out new videos, which is about twice a week lately, we've been cranking them out for you guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you're notified each time that we put up a new video. And also want to remind you, we love getting your calls. We love helping you find perfect neighborhood, perfect house for your situation, but you gotta give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email, give us a buzz, and we can start that conversation. But let's get on into it because we got a lot to talk about today. First up, I'm gonna talk about the housing because that is like the thing that's the most expensive when you're moving out to Denver. So the cost of living in Denver, Colorado is about 28% higher than the average in the United States. So we're definitely not cheap. The West Coast areas like California, Seattle, we look inexpensive to them. But if you're coming from Omaha or Kentucky, it ain't cheap. However, it's freaking awesome here. You have everything super accessible to you. You get the mountains, you get skiing, you get year-round activities. You have all seasons out here. And the people are pretty rad, I'd say, because nobody's from here really anymore. And I mean, that is kind of a sad thing, but nobody's from here, so everyone remembers what it was like to also not be from here and kind of making your way, making your new start in the Mile High City. So even though these, prices like are way more than Youngstown, Ohio, where I'm from, I'm not living in Youngstown, Ohio, right? And so that's the plus. So at the end of January 2021, the average home sold for $660,000 gadzooks. That is getting pretty high. The median household price point was $540, which is a little bit more digestible. But again, it is a hot market out here. We have hands down the lowest inventory that we have had on record. You're seeing this across a lot of cities, like Austin, Boise's blowing up as well. So with the interest rates so low, everyone's eager to find their next home. And the problem that we're seeing in Denver is that a lot of the Denver residents, they want to stay in Denver. So they sell their home, they then have to be on the buying side, and that creates some headaches. So you're seeing a lot of people just staying where they are right now. And when the properties do hit the market, they'll typically hit like on Thursday, Friday, and they're getting multiple offers and they're under contract by Monday. It used to be last year when I was selling this, I would say, hey, make sure you get there on the weekend to go see it because by Monday or Tuesday it's done. Now we're seeing a lot of sellers, they're getting offers, they're getting multiple offers Friday and Saturday, and so they're shutting off showings for Sunday because they're like, we're done. We have enough offers, we have enough to compete with and to choose from, and so they're just going with something that they already have in hand. So yeah, it's super quick. You gotta have a guide, you gotta have somebody helping you out, and you gotta have somebody that knows how to leverage different aspects of the offer, what we can write in our contracts to appeal and make your offer as delicious as possible to that seller. If you think you're gonna come out here first to rent before you buy, that's cool. We have a great rental market. Things are, pretty pricey, and they do get less expensive as you move further away from the city. Like when I moved out here, I didn't start in the city. I started over in Lakewood by the Colorado Mills Mall. There's a bunch of like townhomes and condos over there that I rented a spot, got my bearings of the city, figured out where I wanted to be. I actually moved like 8 times before I bought my house, but so I've been everywhere. But if you wanted to rent, just know that a 1-bedroom or a studio, that's going for about $1,000 a month is what you're going to be looking at. And then for like a 2-bedroom, a lot of people will have roommates out here. So a 2-bedroom, you're looking at about $1,700, which makes the cost a little bit more manageable for you per person. And then when you start looking at like houses for a rental, you're going to be hard pressed to find anything that's under $2,000 a month in like the Denver metro area. So just know that's what it's looking like if you're coming out here and looking to rent first. And same with the housing market, rentals are going to go super quick. And now that you got your sweet house, you need to run it, right? You need some electricity, you need some water, you need those necessities. Well, for water and sewer, you're looking at about $120 a month. And my electric bill, this month it was freaking $178 because I don't know what the hell we're doing in this house. But that was for my electric and my gas. It was $178. Recycling is free. Well, it's not free, it's with your taxes in this city, but you don't have to pay additional for that. Composting is about a $10 additional charge if you want to have that service as well, and they'll just pick it up from your house weekly. Now, transportation. So you got your house, you got it up and running, and you want to get the hell out of there. Well, if you're in like Capitol Hill, like the city area, a lot of people just, in the summer especially, they'll scoot on the scooter, the Lime scooters or the Bird scooters. They'll, biking is, especially if you live in the city, or you'll bike to one of the light rail stations if you're going down towards the Denver Tech Center. A lot of people in this city, if you can avoid moving your car, especially if you don't have a reserved parking spot, like they leave their car on the street for the week, and your vehicle is really just something to go hit up the mountains and have some fun on the weekends. So there's transportation, could be super inexpensive if you're just parking on the street. But if you are driving your car, just know that the car auto insurance is a little bit more than the national average here. And I looked up why that is, and it sounds like, one, if you live in the city, there's just a lot of cars. We're becoming pretty overpopulated. But then we also have like hailstorms and people off-roading their cars, and I think that screws up the average to make it a little bit more expensive here. That's what I'm going with. But then for gasoline prices, they're always more expensive in the mountains. So if you're ever heading up the hill, this is the Front Range, by the way. Denver's the Front Range area, but it's always more expensive in the mountains. Groceries are more expensive in the mountains. So if you're planning a day trip, fill up the tank down here. Gas prices right now are about like $2.30 per gallon. If you're into that public transportation, well, we do have a great bus system, and we do have a light rail system. It's called the RTD, the Rural Transport of Denver. You can get a monthly pass on that. You can pay per day, you get a monthly pass. It's gonna be about $110 to $200 for the RTD monthly pass. That'll get you on the bus and the light rail. And that variance is just for how far you need to go on it. They have it mapped out by zones. So if you're staying close to the city, not that expensive, and just gets more expensive the further you go out. Next, I'm going to talk about like going out and food and drinks and everything like that. Before I do, I want to compare the cost of living in Denver to some of the areas that people are moving from the most right now. That'd be like California. So using LA as an example, Denver is 27% less expensive than LA here in Denver. and that's mainly our housing is 38% less than theirs on average. So $100,000 in LA, you only need $74,000 to have that same standard of living. Moving on to Dallas, howdy! Hey, so we are 27% more expensive than you, and our housing is 98% more expensive. You guys got it nice down there with that housing, but we don't have the mosquitoes, we don't have the bugs, and we don't have the heat. And so that's gotta be worth, you know, 100 grand in housing right there, right? Termites, you guys have termites? We don't have that either. And so if you have making 100,000 in Dallas, you need about 126,000 to have that same standard of living in Denver. And finally, I'm gonna talk about New York, New York. If you can make it there, you can definitely make it here, because $100,000 there, you only need $68,000 to cover that cost here. Our housing is 37% less, and overall our cost of living is 31% less than New York. All right, so now you have your place, you got your transportation. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna go out, you're gonna get some drinks, right? In Denver, we're finally starting to open things back up in the city. So restaurants and bars and everything like that, they are limited capacity. Wear your mask when you go in. House rules, right? House rules. We wear a mask here. They want you to wear the mask. Wear the mask until you get to your table, and then you can take it off, have your drinks. But drinks on average, well, a meal. So you're gonna go out and you're gonna have, you know, dinner for two. You're going to be looking about $55 to $60 for that meal, and then if you're going to add on some brewskis, some beers, you're looking at about, on the low end, $6 per beer. And so, you know, 2 beers each, you're looking at additional, what would that be, $24 for that. And so that adds up. You're close to, you know, over $80 per meal out here in Denver. And then, you know, my Manhattans, tequila in the summer, whiskey in the winter. So Manhattan this time of year, the good one, Woodford Reserve, it's going to be about $14. It's delicious, but that's a high price. And we are a beer city. We have tons of microbreweries, tons of brewery bars as well. And I think those are some of the people that need help the most right now, especially some of the ones that didn't have a food offering, had to shut down completely. So hopefully they come back, but we're definitely into it. We're a beer city, but like $6 is like the lower end. You're looking for dive bars, I gotcha. Message below, I'll hook you up with some good dive bars where you can get like $2 Coors Lights, stuff like that. That's what I'm about. Groceries, because you need to eat, you need to grow. Our groceries are about on average with the rest of the United States, so whatever you're paying there, you'll likely pay the same here. And for purchasing items, we have a 4.75% sales tax, a 2.9% state tax, and a 1% tax that goes to the RTD for transportation. Where you are gonna save money in Denver, especially if you're coming from California and New York, is you're gonna save on that property tax. We have some of the lowest property taxes in the country. It's 0.54% on average of your assessed home value, which for a $540,000 property, you're looking at about $3,000 per year, which is, I know, a breath of fresh air to some of you guys that are paying, you know, closer to like 8, 9, 10% property tax. Now let's talk about why everyone thinks that people move to Colorado. Everyone thinks it's the weed, man. It's not all about the weed, it's all about the outdoors and stuff, but we do have marijuana, and it is legal. And if you're gonna buy some, just know that we have the second lowest marijuana prices like of the west side of the United States, second only to Portland. So out here you can get high and still have that Papa John's money. You do pay a 15% Mary Jane tax on that, and then you pay a 15% excise tax on that as well. If you're if you're recreational, if you're medicinal, you don't have to pay those taxes. And how are you gonna pay for all this? Well, we have jobs. We're becoming more of a tech-centered city. as things become a little bit more overpriced in like Seattle and San Fran, the tech jobs, especially not so much the engineering jobs at first, but a lot of like the sales positions for these tech companies started coming in here because we have a great demographic for that, especially with all the millennials that are moving out here. But the average household income for a householder is $68,000. Just try not to be house poor. I know it's hard not to be house poor with how high home prices are, but you gotta save some of that money because you gotta have some of that R&R in the mountains. I'm not talking about the mountains because that's one of the favorite things to do. Well, hiking is super free, and you should do that. And when you do that, I recommend the All Trails app. You'll probably pay, I think it's $25 if you want the pro account, so you can log all your hikes and everything like that. But if you want to do it in the winter, ski and snowboard, it is pretty pricey. Beyond all the equipment that you need to buy, a lift pass is typically $60 to $110 depending on which mountain you go to. And if you are going to get a mountain pass, those can be pricey too. For the year, it's about $1,000, but you have to pick a road. There's like two sides. You get the Epic Pass and you get the Icon Pass, and it's like you gotta pick one. And that's what a lot of people ask. Oh, you want to go ride? Oh, which pass do you have? Because they'll have access to different mountains that you won't or will, and so that's why you pick a team. So Denver is a little bit pricey, but man, is it awesome. I absolutely love here. I've been here for 13 years, and yeah, I'd love to help you guys find out where you want to be, whether that's in the city or up in like the foothills, like Evergreen, Colorado. That's my jam as well. So don't forget to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. And if you haven't yet, give the video a like. Yeah, this is your 2021 cost of living Denver, Colorado update. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Go check out some of our other videos. We'll see ya. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump over to this map and I'm gonna show you guys where the different price points are and where you're gonna find these homes that are gonna be in your budget. And so I'm gonna start off with 300 to 400,000 single family homes. And you see a lot of them are gonna be out in like the Aurora area, Green Valley Ranch, Montebello area. And you will get some, like the affordable side of town is gonna be southwest Denver. You're gonna find like, you know, ranch style homes, some frame, some as you get like closer to Harvey Park, you'll find like brick ranch style homes. But for the most part, you'll find like 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, up to like some of these will have 4-bedroom, 2-baths, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So that's about what you're gonna get at the 300 to 400,000. 400 to 500, you see more spread out throughout around the city is popping up, so a little bit more evenly dispersed. Like Littleton, Inglewood, these areas are starting to come into play, as well as you got some of the Glendale, Cherry Creek school district over here that people really like. Cool. 500 to 600,000, you're getting a little bit closer to the city. You're getting to like Glendale area, in the Highlands, which is really sought after area. And you're gonna start to find just more like finished homes here. Some of these would be like mid-century, this one's not mid-century modern, but you'll find some mid-century moderns around the Glendale area. And yeah, so they'll be updated, they'll look clean. There you go. Now really you'll see with 600 to 700,000, you'll see like the Highlands neighborhood popping up along like the Cherry Creek area and into Glendale. And you see a lot of this is starting to go away because we kind of outpriced these areas. A lot of these were 400 to 500,000, 506, and so we're kind of getting beyond the price points for them. Now 700 to 800,000, again, more of the same. Washington Park area, Virginia Village, and then Talon's Reach is popping up over here. This is a lot of new construction homes. A lot of the new construction homes are going to be out in this area here. Can't really go too far to the west because we have the mountains, right? And now $1 million properties, well, 800 to $1 million is what I have here. So Washington Park is a really nice area for higher end. That's one of the premier parks in the city right here, Washington Park. So a lot of nice houses around here. And then you're getting some that are popping up around like Sloan's Lake neighborhood, really like up and coming, not up and coming, it's been there forever, but a lot of like the homes around the lake are being scraped and remodeled or just remodeled. And so that's the reason you're seeing those price points. And then $1 million plus, a lot of it is along this like university corridor. So you have Cherry Creek, Washington Park, and then down here into University Hills. You know, they're you know, right around here is where you're going to find a lot of the $1 million properties, and of course Cherry Hills Village and all this down here. This is where a lot of our football players and athletes live. So that is it for now. Looking at townhomes, condos, and multifamily homes, this is 200 to 300,000 because that's kind of like the barrier entry for you know, condos and townhomes. Well, condos really at this price point, but you'll see pretty much everything is going to be a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and it's going to be small. Here, let's just see what this one is. Yeah, 777 square feet. So not big, but if you want to live in the city, the whole point is that you live here and then you get out of your place where you're living at. So 300, 400,000 is the more popular price range, and that's going to be mostly condos at this price point. You won't get too many condos. You won't get too many townhomes at this price point, but if they do, they'll come and go pretty quick. All right, 400 to 500,000. Now this is the meat of what you're gonna find for townhomes, condos. And if you want to live in like the Rhino area, that's Rhino, 5 Points. This is uptown area. This is where you're finding them. And Park Ave is a nice street to live by too, because that'll go right by the ballpark and right onto the highway if you need to go north, or you can go 70 out to the mountains. So that's pretty convenient as far as like living in the city. And the last thing I want to show you with these townhomes and condos is once you get about 600,000 plus, you'll start to get into these new construction townhomes that they've been building, like 3-story tall units. And now at 600,000 to 700,000, you start to get into these multifamily unit homes, and these are really popular in the Highlands neighborhood. They're popping up like in the Inglewood neighborhoods as well. Some people hate them, but some people really like them. A lot of stairs, so I'll show you what some of these look like. So they're typically very narrow, and you have all the garages on the bottom here. So if you're on this side of the building, you're basically looking at your neighbor. Well, I mean, you have the other side of your house too, but yeah, 3 stories tall. At the top, they typically have a roof, and so rooftop, so nice, narrow. You get your steps in, get your leg workout in, and then I'll show you the views from the top.